and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Listen, my brothers and sisters, you have to know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So we need to draw close to God. We need to get intimacy with God. To draw near to God means to intentionally close the distance between our heart and his. Intimacy is not simply knowing about God. It is knowing God's heart, his mind, and his ways. When a believer abides in intimacy, they move from religion to relationship, from ritual to relations. And we need to know that we can move from rituals to revelations. In the spiritual wars that we face, intimacy with God is our most powerful defense. When we are close to him, we receive divine intelligence from heaven, discernment that exposes the enemy's hidden traps. The closer we are to God, the closer we hear his voice, and the stronger our spiritual armor becomes. Let me give you a few verses that brings this to home. Psalms 91:1 says, "He who abides under the shadow of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." My brothers and sisters, learn to abide in the Lord, because in him, that's where our intimacy grows. Let me give you a good analogy here to help you bring this to home and apply it to your life. The lighthouse. A ship lost in the fog must turn its bow toward the beam of light to find safety. God's presence is that light. Intimacy keeps our soul from crashing on the rocks of deception. Here's one more that you can add to your repertoire. The power outlet. A lamp only shines when plugged into the source. Intimacy is the connection that supplies divine power to our spirit. As you know about David in the fields, before the throne came the pasture. Intimacy birthed worship, and worship birthed victory over Goliath. When David got intimate with God, the battle against Goliath was won. Let me give you a quote to add to that. Intimacy with God is not built in the noise of the crowd, but in the stillness of communion. The lesson that we learn, intimacy is our strategy. The devil cannot counterfeit divine closeness. He can imitate religion, but not relationships. Intimacy birth revelations. God reveals his heart, his warning, and his wisdom only to those who seek him with sincerity. My brothers and sisters, many of God's people have wandered after false idols. But I want to tell you, if you want to have success in your life, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Hey, guys, I told you earlier today I had a treat for you. Local resident Mike Ferguson's in here with us this morning. Mike has written a book. First of all, how you doing, Mike? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, Ron.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you on. First, tell people just a little bit about you. You're East Tennessee born and bred, aren't you?
Yeah, grew up in Roane County, Harriman and Rockwood, graduated Rockwood High School, married into Anderson County in '88, and been here ever since. So I've been here longer than anywhere else. 4 kids, 7 grandkids. Very concerned about the mess we're leaving.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the book. First of all, when did it? It's called Our Father's Fears. When did you get this released? How long has it been?
Our Founder's Fears hit Barnes and Noble about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I actually had the first copies printed over in Knoxville, so I wanted a place that I could drive back and forth
Sure.
along the process. And so, but it's been online for 3 weeks and should hit Amazon and I guess Google Books, Apple Books here in the next week.
That's pretty cool. Tell us a little bit about the book. You already stated one of the reasons that you wrote it, looking at your grandkids and the mess that we're leaving them.
Well, I mean, the title is, if you think about our founding documents, it really just summarizes all the things that they were concerned about, that their parents and grandparents had told them about, that the reason they were here instead of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really where the title came from. But the mess we've made, okay, I tried to keep the book from 1979 to now for comparisons.
Okay.
Because that's the year I graduated high school, became an adult,
Yeah.
and entered the workforce full time. But I mean, in 1979, we had a federal budget of $188 billion, which is still under $1 trillion adjusted for inflation.
It's under $1 trillion. Wow.
Yeah. And
It was $188 billion?
Yeah.
That's all?
And
I mean, it's
now we're $7 trillion plus.
Wow.
We've got, our population is not doubled, but our budget is multiplied by 8.
You're talking about our federal budget?
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the other things that concerned you to write it?
I mean, our debt is 44 times what it was in 1979. We're now paying more interest on the debt each year than the entire budget was in 79.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
I mean, that's really the result of all the inflation in my lifetime.
That's obviously pretty substantial fear when you look at what we're spending, and we're outpacing our own population growth. We're outpacing inflation. We're outpacing everything in our spending and over it. Did you come up with any solutions in your book?
I have
ideas, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I've got plenty in there, but I mean,
you want to tell us about them?
Well, I mean, in the book, I mean, I just cover so many topics of just where we're wasting money. I mean, it starts out with how did we get here, and it kind of summarizes.
How, in your opinion, how do you think we got here?
Just everybody thinking something's free. I mean, when you're raising your kids, you're constantly telling them, clean up the mess.
Pick up your room.
You're old enough to know better.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're telling them all this stuff, we are wearing out credit cards in their names to the tune of, $38 trillion in the last 50 years.
Okay.
So, I mean, everything that they're needing to buy is probably 6 times more than what it should be just because of the federal debt.
So as so goes the debt, so goes the credit rating, so goes whatever parents are paying on their credit cards, and
I mean,
creates a cycle.
90% of the inflation is just a result of federal government overspending.
Exactly. So along with the overspending, what are some of the other fears that you fear?
I touched on everything from, citizenship, the economy, how important cash is and the fact that we don't use it. I mean, our kids
Yeah, we
don't
seem to
see
be
us.
edging. No,
Our
kids don't.
don't see us use it. And how can they have any concept between $1 and $100? I mean, I'm sure you remember the movie Rain Man,
Sure.
where he's sitting there and, in his mind, a candy bar and a car cost the same thing.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where we live.
Kids are not seeing the value of dollars because it's so easy to access.
Growing up, I'd push a lawnmower all over town, and I had a pretty good idea that you got to push that lawnmower around a whole lot more to get a bicycle than you had a football. But most kids today don't really have a grasp on that.
And again, I see all the same things you're seeing. What are your ideas for solutions to that, though? Where does it start? Does it start at home and go up, or does it start at the top, trickle down?
It starts with our individual behavior. I mean, we've got to do it individually, and at the same time, we got to demand it of our representatives. It's just not. We've allowed it to happen, and it didn't sneak up on us.
What is it?
In school, we had discussions of how we're going to fix Social Security 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were discussing that. Nobody's ever dealt with it.
It's easy to kick the can down the road and let somebody else do it.
It's easy to go shopping on somebody else's credit card, especially if them people ain't even been born yet.
Yeah. Which it's to the point now that it's only a small part of our budget that isn't already allocated to whether it be Social Security or social programs already. A huge part of our budget is that. Now, how do you unwind that? Because of course the population is getting older, we're living longer, it's costing more, and they've spent a bunch of our Social Security.
People need to really go back and read our founding documents, and they also need to read things like the Communist Manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
You read the Communist Manifesto, you can kind of understand how we got here. Actually, our government the last 50 years comes closer to the Communist Manifesto than our Constitution.
What in our government reminds you of that, or is?
I mean, the Constitution is pretty limited on what the federal government can do. Probably 60% of every dollar spent on the federal level is unconstitutional. I mean, we need to move things back to the states.
Who does that? It would have to be a nonpartisan movement in the House and Senate. You know what I mean? To unwind a bunch of stuff.
Option, which is the Constitutional Convention, which we're probably 8-9 states away from actually calling one, and that takes it out of the hands of Congress. But
who's it put it in the hands of?
It's an uphill battle to get to that 3/4.
Tell me what you're talking about. 8 states away from a constitution.
Well, it takes 3/4 of the states to summons a constitutional convention.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just where...
We're 8 states away from having 3/4.
That's the last I've heard.
Okay. And then what does who conducts a constitutional convention?
That part is not real clear. I mean, it just says representatives from the state, so I'm assuming most likely it would be some states might have a governor appoint one, or the 2 bodies in each state come up with their own representatives, but then they would go and vote on things like term limits.
And I was going to say, what power does that have? What power do those people would a constitution?
It's pretty much the avenue to override Washington.
So this group of people who gives them the power to overturn the votes that the people that were elected by the people made, even if they're wrong?
Both bodies of representation in each state.
Gotcha.
Until you get to 3/4. And then, like I said, how they send the representatives to vote on each,
I'm just wondering how they have the authority to make Washington adhere to whatever they come up to. Who's
well,
it's
I mean,
there's plenty of things I've seen happen over the last 5 years that I know as well as were not Constitution. Some of them were not even legal, and you just sit back and watch.
I mean, our courts have failed us.
Absolutely, our courts have failed us. But again, who do you tell? Who is the governing body that's going to shut that down? It should be the Supreme Court should make rulings.
The Supreme Court should be looking at everything through the prism of the Constitution, other than the prism of previous decisions.
Yeah,
and it seems like we rarely do that.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, if you go through all of the issues, all the things that we're having, is the only answer a constitutional convention? Are there other things that you bring forward that people can do? Like I said, I mean, you say a constitutional convention, but we don't know who appoints them or where they're at or how. So it sounds hopeless.
Kind of murky, but I don't think, as accurate as they were in drafting and covering pretty much every issue in our Constitution.
Yeah.
There's just so much they couldn't even fathom. I mean,
they couldn't foresee what we're dealing with now.
Fathom radio, but I mean, you could have somebody in Serbia on their phone listening to this show right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not even sure if the same founding fathers were doing it right now in this time frame. I don't even know if we would have a central location for a federal government. It would just all be done from
the states or the phone.
States you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be phones and
if
computers.
It was starting today, yeah.
But the issues that they covered still apply. I mean,
I think that our Constitution, our early foundational documents were divinely inspired. I really do, without a shadow of a doubt. Of the first 13 colonies that made up the states, in order to run for office, you had to take a pledge as a Christian and adhere to Christian beliefs and foundation. It was our early foundation was all stemmed in Judeo-Christian beliefs. And it seems like all the stuff that's happened bad to us have been things that have treaded on or expanded away from, those pretty easy to follow, beliefs. Everybody's equal. Everybody is the same. We all deserve the right to pursue happiness. It's complex, but at the end of the day, it's pretty forthright. It's pretty much do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And we've just gotten quite a ways away from that.
The Senate was not set up anywhere near how it functions now.
Really?
I mean, the Senate was supposed to be, your senators are supposed to look at everything through the prism of how it affects their state.
Absolutely.
And direct election in the early 1900s kind of just changed that whole atmosphere.
What was it before that? Were they appointed?
Yeah. By state legislatures, governors.
They picked
and they sent people, okay, how is this going to affect the people in the state of Tennessee or Pennsylvania or wherever they're coming from? Excuse me.
What was the idea beside to changing it to an election? I can see where people would say, hey, we want to elect our officials, but
yeah, but you're electing the people
that have put them in there in the first place.
Approved of. So you probably get a more representative. I mean, so much of it now is just name recognition.
Yeah.
Who's got the most money to spend?
I mean, I agree with you 100%. That's why it's so hard to get people out once they're in, because they're in the news. And as you'll notice, as we get closer to election time, all of a sudden these people start popping up with news stuff everywhere. They're all over the place. So I absolutely agree with that. It's very hard to get people out once they get in. But at the same time, you think that our state legislators and those folks would have a better handle removing people and getting, keeping new blood running through there? Or did they prior?
They would definitely be more pressure on them having to walk around amongst their constituents every day than.
That makes sense. They're here, and they would bear the brunt of the bad or the good that the person they sent up there did.
Or, most of them in Washington might spend 6 weeks in their home district.
Yeah.
Or 6 weeks in their state.
Yeah.
They go on vacation. Half the time they don't go home. They go
on vacation.
They don't want to be seen.
Yeah. I think a couple of our congressmen they're here. Burchett's here a reasonable amount of time. Chuck Fleischman's in the district a reasonable amount of time. I think he spends more time down toward Chattanooga than he does up here, but spends a reasonable amount of time in Oak Ridge.
Burchett, you probably see Burchett as much as anybody.
Yeah.
He seems to be all over.
And he's accessible. Yeah, he is. He's accessible and conversational and listen. I think that people want that. Of course, he's just a congressman, not a senator. It's interesting. So where can people, right now you say they can get this. I just want you to tell a little bit more about the book that you want people to know. And I want to intrigue people to go look for it and buy it.
Okay. Like I said, I touch on so many things in here. I touch on our education system, which
we don't need
I was the last class that graduated before we had a Department of Education. Federal Department of Education started the summer after I graduated high school.
George H.W. Bush.
We've been in a free fall ever since.
Yeah. We have, by nationalizing it or federalizing it, it seems like we've removed a lot of what made the country and our schools great, and that's having people from the area understand how to school, teach, work with, whether it be states all the way down to counties. It seems, the way that you deal with one kid isn't the way you deal with every kid all the time. And when we federalized it, we kind of did a blanket, education that was fueled by test scores as opposed to actual, progress, it seemed like. So, even in our test scores, though, our readings went down. It's been terrible.
It's all.
And do you account that? Do you feel like it's because they removed the power from the states?
Yeah, I mean, if you're growing up in Alabama, there's probably a lot of things you need to know that kids growing up in Hawaii don't need to know, or Alaska versus Minnesota. Or, I mean, if your industry is primarily agriculture, you probably need a different school system than,
Yeah.
You're living in around the Detroit area, and they're most likely going to work in automotive somewhere.
Sure. And again, I go back. What do you think about, our current director of education, federal, across the country? Her job is to dismantle it.
I'm all for that.
And so you feel like that'll give us more control, or Tennessee or Louisiana or whoever can.
Better overall education system.
We can educate our students as to what they need here as opposed to.
I feel like when I was in school, you got a better, more rounded education of things that would actually apply to life.
Sure.
Than we do now.
Let me move you into local politics, because if you've listened to this show, I've had every politician that's ever came across Anderson County and many other state, a number of federal ones too. And a lot of times people will say, well, what happens on a national level don't always concern us locally. And some of that's true, some of that's not true. But where do you see on our local politics where we stand? Do you fear that we have, those amongst us that would like basically to rewrite the Constitution to be a little more liberal, a little more, whatever? Or, what do you see locally? I understand the mess our federal government's making, but do you have any opinions on our local governments?
I think locally we're in pretty good shape around here. There's not a budget of government at any level that you can't make cuts.
Yeah. Sure.
There's waste at every level.
Absolutely. Do you feel like we've got that here, or just guessing, or just any?
Well, like I said, I think overall most of your East Tennessee counties are
pretty well run.
Fairly well run.
I think so. We've, I can go back to a time, and you probably, if you followed politics locally, probably can remember. You go back to the days of when Myron Iwanski was our county mayor. He came in for an interim term. If we had any rainy day fund, it wasn't much, less than $100,000 maybe, something to that effect. We were below what state minimums require for us to have in a bank to operate a county, and we were in pretty bad financial shape. fast forward to today, we've got a pretty substantial nest egg put back, and I don't see anywhere in this county that we're lacking. Do you? I mean, are there things you see our local government could do better for us with what they have?
I don't know. We probably got some school buildings that's right on the edge of the end of their life, or at least needing some major renovations,
sure,
updates. But overall, you're
pretty satisfied with the way Anderson County and.
Yeah, I mean, the high school I graduated from is still down there plugging away.
It's just a middle school now, right?
Well.
Oh wait, no, you graduated. I'm sorry, you graduated. I was going to your wife, Lake City. I usually go up there for career day at Lake City, and I can remember I graduated in '82 from Campbell County High School, and I can remember in '80. I don't know if it was Campbell County that was playing at Lake City, if it was us or I remember going. I was a sophomore, and I can remember coming down here to a basketball game back when it was still, a high school. So that was probably 1980, I guess. It's been a while, but I can remember. I can remember when it was still a high school.
I'd like to see us go back to smaller schools, especially at the high school level. I mean. What was your graduating class?
I don't remember. It was pretty large. It wasn't as big as the 1,400, 1,500 we had.
130 range.
We were probably in
and
Camp
even at that size, you still had kids that kind of got lost in the mix.
Sure.
And now you're sending them to schools with 2,000 people. Graduating classes of 500, 600, 700.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you wonder how we end up with some deranged little kid bringing a gun into school.
I agree with you. That's great, but at the same time, building new schools, lessening the classroom means more teachers, which means more money, which they in turn come back to.
Classrooms are not that much different size-wise just because you put them in smaller buildings.
Well, but isn't the whole idea of having
kids?
Isn't the whole idea of having a smaller population so that they can be more readily dealt with? You know what I mean? If you got 1,000 kids and 10 teachers versus 400 kids and 10 teachers, the 400 kids are going to get a better service than the 1,000 kids just by sheer numbers. That's what I'm saying. If we start splitting up, take that 1,000 and split it up into 2.5 or whatever classes, whatever it comes to, 3 classes, then you've got to have teachers for each of those classes. So it seemed it would increase our budget, is what I'm asking.
Seem to have awful massive budget for not that much of it actually getting to the kid level, though.
Have you studied like our local budget and our schools budget and stuff like that, or have you focused mostly on the national?
This book focuses mostly on our national. That's where we're destroying our kids' futures. I mean, we've got to do stuff individually too. I mean, we can't just keep walking into stores and just throwing stuff in the buggy without even paying attention to where it's made. I mean,
true. I think that federally right now we're kind of on that move with the president tariffing and doing some. It will curb or at least increase. If we're going to import, at least we should be able to export. So we buy stuff from people right now that don't even let us sell stuff to them. I agree. We need to be more of a manufacturing country like we used to be, self-sufficient. We've farmed everything out to the point that now they own the farm.
Yeah, if you're dependent on everybody else, they can cut you off, and then you don't know how to do it because you've got 2 generations and never done it.
I remember during COVID, it came to light that China made the highest percentage of our penicillin, I believe, antibiotics. That's scary as all get out.
All those masks were coming from China. I mean, it was a boom for them.
And I know this sounds, I don't know, not conspiracy theorist, but you think about it. Nobody disagrees that we're rivals with China. Nobody argues that. Nobody argues that it is their openly stated ambition to become the world's biggest superpower, which means they have to overtake us to do that, because we are. And so if that's your stated, they always say when people tell you who they are, believe them. If that's their stated goal, at what means would they end to get that? Would it be messing with our medications? Would it be? It worries me. So that's.
Why do we have an FDA when half the stuff is made
somewhere else? Yeah. So bringing some of that stuff back, and I know that we're doing that. I know Pfizer just announced they're doing a big deal. They're building a plant here to avoid tariffs from bringing them in to build stuff here or to make these drugs here. And I know they also announced they're going to give us most favored nation, quote unquote, prices, which might help. But hopefully we'll start making some things, creating and manufacturing, not just tools, but the things that we eat, consume, medicines, stuff like that. We can do that here. Do you think, a lot of people too, what do you think about this, Mike? A lot of people say, the president said, make America great again. Well, when was it great? They talk like he's wanting to roll us back to the 1950s and everything. You know what I mean? Keep women in the house and all this. That's not what he's talking about when he's talking about making America great. What do you believe?
I would like to see us go back to the actually knowing your neighbor, instead of pretending like you've got 600 friends on Facebook that you've not seen in 40 years.
Sure.
More the family reunions we used to have. Like I said in my book, when your families start to fail, your churches will start to fail, and then your country will start to fail.
Kind of just trickles off, doesn't it? How can people get the book if they're interested in it?
Well, right now it's just on Barnes & Noble.
Okay, just barnesandnoble.com?
It's hardcover, paperback, ebook. Should be the same things here within the next week on Amazon, Google Books, Apple Books.
How much is it online? Do you know?
The hardcover is $24.95, $16.95 on the paperback, and I think the ebook is $3.99.
Is it selling pretty good?
Well, so far, like I said, I have no way of tracking the numbers. It's been available online for 3 weeks.
Okay.
I had copies printed. I've been delivering copies, so I'm pretty much word of mouth up to this point.
Okay.
And the reviews I've got on Barnes & Noble, there's a half dozen or so, all 5 stars.
I'm going to read it. I just, like I said,
great.
When you and I talked, I just got back from vacation. Man, this week, when I get, it seems like I pile up everything, and it takes me about 2 weeks to get over being gone a week. So, but I've got it. I'm anxious to get a moment to read it.
Friday,
yeah,
I will be at Coal Creek General Store from 11 to 5.
Right downtown here.
Yep. Downtown Lake City, Rocky Top. And I got a 6-hour window there. I'll come in.
What time?
Talk about 11 to 5.
11 to 5, all right.
So, come by, see me, sit around, talk, grab you a burger, fried bologna sandwich. Good food. She's awesome as far as supporting local crafts and
Sure, absolutely, that'd be great. So that's 11 to 5, Coal Creek General Store, downtown Rocky Top, this Friday, day after tomorrow. You'll take some books with you if folks want them.
I'll have some with me. I'll sign them.
I appreciate the one you left me and signed for me too. I really do. Anything else you want folks to know about the book, or just in general, before we go?
Well, we need to approach this individually. We need to approach this putting pressure on our elected officials at all levels.
Sure. Have you ever thought of running for office?
I actually ran for county commission years and years ago.
When did you run? Did you run in Roane County?
No.
You ran in Anderson County?
Lake City.
When was it?
4th District.
Do you remember?
Okay, at the time, let's see, it was Mike Cox and Doug Hahn.
Okay, that's not bad.
And
that's 90s, isn't it?
Each time, there were 5 and 6 of us in the race, and I finished 3rd each time. So nobody but the incumbents ever beat me.
Well, that
I thought that was pretty good for somebody that didn't grow up in the area.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before. I think, and a number of my friends that have dabbled into politics and running, I think everybody ought to have to do it or work on a campaign once. It's eye-opening, isn't it, when you get out there and start talking to people?
I've always been politically active, just mainly for other people, but
yeah, you get out there and do it for yourself. It's
2006, 2007.
Yeah,
I finished 3rd by 34 votes.
No, that's good. That's good. But like I said, it's it's eye-opening to get out there, put yourself out and run.
I mean, I'm just one of these people who sit around. I'd sit on somebody's porch for an hour and we'd talk politics. I figure, well, I should be going, to 10 other houses, but,
They want to talk, you talk.
You really convince this one person, and he probably knows 30 more.
Yeah, absolutely. You ever consider throwing your hat back in, or you're gonna just write your opinions now?
I'm trying to expand my reach. The marketing is by far the hardest part of writing a book. I mean,
sure.
You start out word of mouth and just try to expand. And
is it hard to get your stuff on Amazon, some of these other forums, these platforms?
It's hard to get them on there, but it's hard to. Like book placement kind of goes by.
Yeah.
What kind of reviews you're getting, how many reviews you're getting.
Sure.
Not just book sales itself, but, if they're getting good reviews but not sold a lot yet, they'll move them up to see if the people that's reading it really like it. They'll keep it up more toward the front of the website instead of 20 pages down.
Well, good luck. I hope you sell a bunch of them. I agree with you on everything we've talked about. We need smaller government, more local government.
I think you'll like the book. I mean, I've had no negative feedback. Jump on Barnes & Noble's, type in the book title, and, read the handful of reviews I've got so far. I mean, I thought even Barnes & Noble's, they have staff that just read books and write the overviews. I thought even their overview was pretty...
They wrote it for you? Very good. That's pretty cool.
I know it's their job to sell books, but...
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of tell that whoever wrote that overview actually had read the book.
Very good. Well, that's great. Well, congratulations on the book. I appreciate you coming up. It's nice to meet you. A mutual friend of ours had sent me a message that had read your book. It said, hey, this is really interesting. Might be somebody you want to get on the radio. And I was like, absolutely. I'd love to do that. So I appreciate you coming up, and hopefully we can let some people know about your book, sell a few of them. And if you're here around town, Friday, 11 to 5 at Coal Creek General Store. That's right downtown Rocky Top from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. Mike will be out there with his book and talk about that, swap ideas, and maybe get a book. Anything else you want folks to know?
No.
Do you have a website? Is there a website or anything where folks can go?
No.
All right.
My daughter's toying around with it, but it's not there yet.
All right. If you get one, send it to me, and we'll let people know about it. All right, Mike. I'll take this break, folks. We'll be right back. This is Ask Your Neighbor on AM 1380 WYSH.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Bunched up 2x2. Green flag goes in the air.
Playoff round of 8 heads to the half mile of mayhem.
One car's on its side. Zane Smith rolls over. He flips wildly.
Who will secure their spot in the championship 4?
Here comes Chase Elliott. He will get into Hamlin. They sprint to the line. Checkered flag is waving.
It's the Xfinity 500.
1 o'clock Sunday here on your exclusive voice for NASCAR in Knoxville.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and Shylock's Pawn is giving away a complete Thanksgiving dinner or Thanksgiving turkey. When you visit Shylock's, be sure and register for the drawing to be held November 14th. You can register as often as you like, but only once per day. You have to be 18 or older, and you don't have to be present to win. No purchase necessary. They'll do the drawing November 14th, so go by Shylock's and register today. Shylock's Pawn, 1204 Clinch Avenue in Clinton, 865-457-2960. And remember, if you need money, Shylock's has cash for you.
Do you have an unusual colored car? Think it might be hard to match that color if you're ever in an accident or need body work?
And see, that's some of the things we got.
That's Barry with H&H Body Shop.
They had advanced so far in paint technologies that I can match, blend, tint. I mean, I feel comfortable telling you, I have people come in with some very unusual colors and they say, he'll never match. I said, yes, it will. We make it work. They've come up with some marvelous things where there's research known that you can even know what year and what day and what time that vehicle was made, what batch of paint was used. They know research whether that color is tinted off red or blue or yellow to give you some idea of what to deal with. Multiple things that you can do with, obviously, the computer.
All of today's latest technology, and still locally owned and locally operated. H&H Body Shop at 749 North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9735.
Your floors are a bore, and so are you, with endless carpet choices leaving you confused again. You're feeling stuck. You've got all the symptoms. You've got a case of floor fatigue. Sure, you could ignore it, or you could call for help. Call Karen's Carpet. They'll not only transform your space with Primo Flooring Oak Hill Hardwood for just $4.99 a square foot, they'll floor you with options. Karen's Carpet, the store that gives you more. Visit karenscarpetsales.com today.
I want to thank our friend Mike Ferguson for coming in today. The book is called, here it is, it's called Our Founders' Fears. Get it on Barnes & Noble. It'll soon be on Amazon, but probably easiest if you would like it, just jump on barnesandnoble.com. Read the book, or get the book. Read it for yourself. I'm going to read it, and we'll try. I might probably try this weekend. It just depends. I had the boys last weekend, and of course, we just got back from vacation. It's been covered up, so I haven't read it yet. So I said I'm going to, and I hope you will too. 865-457-1380. I'll give you just a moment. When I say just a moment, I mean 60 seconds. If you have anything that you would like to ask about, share about, speak about. I try to draw this out a little bit because I know we run about a minute and 30 seconds behind online. So when I do this and then I end it, somebody undoubtedly calls and says, well, wait a minute, the commercial's still playing, because they're behind. So I drag this out a little bit. If indeed you have anything to add, now would be the time to do it. 865-457-1380. I say this one more time here today, and I think it's a first. I really do. I said it on Trading Time. We have found, not me, but downtown Clinton, someone has found a pet lizard. That's right. Like Geico. Well, he's a gecko, but you know what I mean. A lizard. So if you've lost one, write this number down, 865-924-2273. 865-924-2273 if you've lost your lizard. It's first, for real. All right, 60 seconds from now, I'll be back to take your calls, 865-457-1380, or I'll be back to wrap things up. Here, wait a minute. Looks like I've got a call. Hang on. Let me see if I do before I go. Good morning. Are you calling to be on Ask Your Neighbor with me this morning?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mike, what are you doing, buddy?
I was just kind of listening to you a little bit. I know that you didn't take any calls or questions, anything for Queener's Corner. I didn't know if you did for Sheriff Barker yesterday or not.
We did not. Do you have one?
Oh, I was going to ask him there if he had put his SRO officers through some new training. And then if he asked what I was talking about, I was just going to tell him I seen on Facebook where Hollywood was out there dancing with the dance team.
I haven't seen that, but I have a feeling Hollywood would need some training.
He done all right there. He had the guts to at least get out there.
He's more of a man than me, Hollywood. Have at it.
Yeah, so evidently he must be the SRO up in Anderson County then.
Okay.
Or for one of the schools, I assumed that it could have even been the middle school or something. I don't know. But anyway, I was going to ask you too.
Yes, sir.
To change the subject about football. Have you noticed that the pants that these players are wearing now, there's more of them looks like shorts than they are football pants?
I have noticed that, and I've also noticed, especially like on wide receivers and stuff like that, have you noticed they don't have any pads on their knees or their thighs? Have you seen that?
I know it.
Let me tell you something. I had shin pads. I had thigh pads. I had arm pads, shoulder pads. I was padded up. When I hit you, you were gonna. I didn't get hurt.
Well, I mean that was just the way it was. There, you got your football pants. You had all the sides, the pads that went around the sides of the front of the pants.
Yeah.
And then you had the ones that went in over the knees.
You stuck them in over the knees and the thighs, and you had the ones you snapped in around your waist.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know if it's a discomfort. And I was asking.
I'm sure with wide receivers they've done that so they can be faster. But it just, you worry them getting hit, man. Just a straight, even helmet on a thigh, which is legal. But man, that would hurt.
it would hurt a lot worse.
Yeah, you talk about a bruise?
Padded up, but I was asking another friend of mine about. I said, and he had a legitimate answer. If it was actually the case, I don't know. But I thought, why are these players got these mouthpieces hanging off their helmets, but they don't have them in their mouth? But he said, well, a lot of them's got those fitted mouthpieces, and it's just like a backup in case they lose that one, if that makes sense. Did you not notice how the mouthpieces are just hanging off their helmet?
I do, but they have to have them put in by the play, or it's a penalty.
Well, they must have the fitted ones then, because a lot of them don't have them put in.
Well, they're supposed to.
Because I thought it was a rule as well.
Well, I've not seen it out during a play, and but I have seen them. Gosh, I'm almost sure I've seen them call it with somebody not having their mouthpiece in.
I know
maybe
quarterbacks a lot of time they'll have the little fitted piece there, and they'll take it out, stick it in their helmet, and they stick it back in their mouth when they're up getting ready to call the play. But some of the wide receivers and some of the other players there, they've still got that one hanging off their helmet.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. So. Somebody call in and correct me, but I know when I played, it was a penalty. I know it was.
If you didn't have your mouthpiece in.
Yeah, you get called on it because I did, and I got in trouble big time.
Oh, okay, then.
Big time. I was a lineman. I was right guard. Yeah.
Oh, okay, then.
Lined up. They threw the. I can't even remember if the play got started or if it was before the play. I think it was after the play got started, and they called whistle the play dead because I didn't have my mouthpiece in.
Oh, okay. Now, where did you play at? Up in Campbell County?
I did. I played up in. I didn't play for Campbell County High School. I played for Jacksboro Optimist League my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
In the midgets.
Do they still have that going, that program?
You know what? I don't know. They did, but I'm assuming they do. I haven't heard anything to the contrary. But I don't know, to tell you the truth. Absolutely. Somebody up in Campbell County call and let us know.
Because I know the Optimist football program that used to be in Claxton, it kind of went away. They, I don't know if nobody wanted to take care of the old Blue Devil football field or what, but I played a lot of games over there playing during Clinton Optimist.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember. We played there as well.
Oh, okay then. But evidently they're up and running on got a lot of concrete pads and stuff there for the new Claxton school.
I saw that. I drove by there the other day. It looks like they're rocking and rolling. You can kind of get the idea, the footprint of what the building and the old building and the new building are going to look like together, how they're going to set.
So did you listen to the commission meeting the other night?
I did not. What happened?
Oh, well, Tyler moved to Andersonville, which took him out of our district out here, District 1. It's us out here at Mountain View, parts of Brushy Valley, East Wolf Valley, all the way into Claxton. But some of us around the community here, we tried to we got Jeff Parrott to run there because we wanted somebody to kind of represent us instead of both of our representatives being from the Claxton area.
Okay.
Of course, Tracy's done a good job.
Yeah.
Over there. I never did see much of Tyler out this way, but anyway,
they put Chad in there, right?
They put Chad McNabb in. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, he's worked there across from the courthouse over in corrections or probation or whatever it is for the last 15 years, but he just lives a few doors down from where Tracy lives, so both their representatives are from the Claxton area.
Yeah. Chad's a pretty good boy. I've known him for a while. And
he's a good guy. Yeah, for sure. When I was running the park, he used to send me probationers up here to do community service. Of course, they didn't. He'd say, I'm sending you 5. Most of the time I wouldn't get but 2 because the other 3 wouldn't show up. But he was always good about doing that.
Well, I understand that, I don't blame you. We need equal representation. Hopefully, between Chad and Tracy, you'll get it. And Tracy's good. Tracy's good about taking care of you guys out there if you need it too.
Oh yeah, we've been I have been in a constant battle about that burn pumping station out here for this sewer that is right there next to Andersonville Volunteer Fire Department, which is really close to where I live at. I can throw a rock from my front porch and hit it, and nothing makes me no matter to go outside on the front porch to grill and be smelling sewer.
Oh man, I understand.
And I've fought it for years. They'll come up and treat it, and then they'll have an excuse there. Well, this company's supposed to come and run this chemical through there every month there, and they hadn't been here in 2 or 3 months. So I thought, well, why are you not monitoring that stuff?
Have you thought about, and I don't necessarily want to throw anybody under the bus, but have you thought about reaching out to the state, having them send somebody out from the state EPA and look at it to see if it's within tolerations, within limitations of what it's supposed to be?
But that is an idea.
Well, that definitely will shake a tree or two.
I know that evidently we've got the guy that was over the water authority, Larry Clowers, evidently he's retired now.
Yeah.
And there's a new man that's in there. I've not met him or not sure who he is there. I always got along good with Larry.
Sure.
But, I could call him and he'd always send somebody out. But, on the weekends,
it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard to get anything done.
Now, I understand 100% of what you're saying. But I'm not saying you ought to do that. I'm just saying if you can't get anybody to come out and help you, that would be your next call is say, hey, this is going on out here, and I'm not sure if it's within tolerances.
Well, you just got tired of calling down there all the time.
I understand.
It's like, then sometimes it'll go a week or two and it won't smell, then here it'll come back. So it gets old.
Well, let me ask you this. Are they doing anything to remedy it permanently as opposed to just covering it up with chemicals? Is there any ideas of fixing it?
Well, there's even exhaust vents. There's one up at the very end of the park that's going out, and there's some down through Brushy Valley. Like I say, it clears up sometimes, but I think that my personal opinion, I think they put too small a piping in there to carry the load.
That might be. Well, I'll tell you what, there used to be a problem, same type of problem, up there across the river from Mariner Point, over there where the CUB pumping station is. You know where I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's where I developed that subdivision. I developed that property over there and on Harbor Drive. And a lot of people told me this is a big problem. This is a big problem. And it was a big problem. And I worked with CUB, and I can't remember what all they did. They didn't do it for me. They did it for everybody out there. But I think you could reach out to any of the people that live there, certainly over on my neck of the woods. I can't remember the last time that we ever had any smell of sewer or anything like that. And I've got a pumping station right next to my house. Do you know that?
Okay, then now are you with CUB or Anderson County Water Authority?
I'm with the CUB. I was just saying Anderson County Water Authority might want to ask CUB what they did to remedy it over here.
Well, that's another good thought there. See, that's who it. I guess that sewer system before they put it in out through here. Of course, it don't do me any good. I've got a septic tank.
No, I understand completely.
I think it's about $3,000 you can tie on to it, but I thought, wow, I've got a perfectly good working septic tank. Why would I want to do that?
That's the same thing here. We're the same way. I got a septic tank. I got city water, but I've got a septic tank out here at the station. So,
you have a city sewer?
There's city sewer available. I'm not tapped onto it. It wasn't.
Oh, you said you got a septic tank?
Yeah, I got a septic tank, and I got city water. We ran the water line, but it runs from the road all the way up to the building, and you know how long my parking lot is. That's probably, 50 yards or better? So,
I know a lot of people that's got the city water and sewer, and I've never figured it out, but they said that their sewer bill is usually about twice what the water bill is.
I don't know about that.
I guess it costs more to get rid of it than it does to get it.
I'd say you're right, pal.
Not sure how it works.
Sounds about right to me.
Okay, then. What I was going to ask you something else. I don't remember what it was now.
Well, we've solved the world's problems thus far. Don't stop now.
Okay. Well, you ought to reach out to Chad and get him up on the radio one day.
You know what? I will. I will. I think a lot of him and his dad. I don't know his sister that well, but I know his father and I know him pretty well. I think a lot about him. I will. I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him up here, and we'll razz him a little bit.
Okay. I mean, I'm not calling in to knock on him, because I think he's a good guy, but I just thought it would have been a good idea to have gotten somebody that lives out here in this area instead of just another one next door to their other representative in Claxton.
I understand. That's you know what I mean? I think that's reasonable and worth the conversation.
Actually, I called Tracy. I was a little bit PO'd about it because they put in the Oak Ridger and that girl, and I don't know her. I read her post a lot on Facebook, that Lindsay Smith.
Okay.
I don't know if it's I Love Clinton or what that website is. But anyway, she put in there the same thing as the Oak Ridger did, that District 1 needs another commissioner to fill out the rest of Tyler Mays' term for the Claxton area. And I thought, District 1 is not just in Claxton.
Yep. And you're right, and most of us, and I'm included, I do that. I brand it the same way. I say the Claxton area. We all do, but you're definitely right. It's not.
I don't know, because she come back and corrected, and she said, "Oh yeah, right. It does go through East Wolf Valley, parts of Brushy Valley, and Mountain View."
Yeah.
So anyway, but
if you want to represent it, you need to know where it's at. That's for sure.
Need to know exactly where it's at.
Yeah,
exactly there. But anyway, I don't know if I can think of any more problems right now or not. But if I do, I'll call you on Friday there.
Well, we'll
have David in there tomorrow.
We will have David West in here tomorrow, and I may not be here Friday. I don't know yet, but I may not be here Friday. But I may not. I don't know. We'll see. That said, but let me see. So let's recap now. You can encourage Anderson County Water to reach out to CUB, see what they did down by Mariner Point and down around there, because they fixed that. And if that don't work, I'd say your next step's the state. Any other problems we need to fix?
Well, we need to get Tennessee back on the right track.
We're going to do that this week. I'm going to take care of that.
Well, I hope so there. I know Texas really had a struggle with them last weekend.
I don't want to talk about Jiminy Christmas. If we can't get our defense going, and I mean, we had a couple mistakes. The safety, that happens. That happens. He fell down. I'm not going to.
Shouldn't have been throwing from the end zone.
Well, he shouldn't have been throwing from the end zone in the first place. We shouldn't have been back that far. We shouldn't have been sacked, all of the above. But that said, we made some terrible mistakes. The interception for a touchdown, 99 yards. I mean, when that was our clock management. We're still having problems, I believe, with clock management. We have 3 timeouts to go, and you let 25, 30 seconds burn off the clock. You line up in a play to run it. Everybody in the whole world knows with 4 seconds left on the clock, you're not, or 10 seconds, whatever it was, you're not going to run it. Because if you do and miss, you're done.
Well, the game just, I don't know, it gave me a bad taste right off the bat.
Me too.
I mean, we got the ball first there. We come throw 2 passes. We got third down, about 2.5 yards to go for a first down, and you want to run right into the teeth of that Alabama defense, right up the middle.
I know.
We don't know how to run a toss sweep or anything like that. All of our running plays are straight up the middle.
Well, I'm not going to second guess plays, because I just don't know. You never know what the defense is prepared for. But that said, clock management, you know what I mean? That's the coaches. Silly mistakes, offsides, all these things. Those are mistakes that can be fixed. I mean, if you call the wrong play, you call a running play because you think you got your bluff on them, and they suss it out. That's kudos to the defense. I think a lot more than the offense picking the wrong play. But I understand what you're talking about. We run it straight up the middle, straight up the middle, straight up the middle.
That's it. And of course, that Deshaun Bishop ended up having a pretty good day.
Bishop is a stud, and they need to run him till he needs a break, and then I think he's earned the spot, don't you?
Oh yeah.
No more of this by committee stuff. When he gets tired, put somebody in, but I think he's earned the spot.
Well, that transfer they got from Duke, I believe, is actually pretty good too.
Yeah, they are good, and I'm just saying, he was positive yardage every time he touched the ball.
But that transfer actually said that for Bishop to be a sophomore, said, gosh, he plays more like a junior or senior.
Yeah, he does.
He was really building him up there.
Well, he's a very talented young man, and I don't know
his high school stats there and tell how talented he is.
I don't think we're utilizing him as much as we could. I wonder too, with his speed, why they don't let him break out into the flat and just toss over the line's head, toss it to him. Yeah, and get it to just a little swing pass out to him, very similar to a run, but just get him out in the flat and drop it to him, and then let him make people miss because he runs through, he runs over and around. I mean, he's a great player, very athletic young man.
He's put together too. There, I seen a picture of him the other day with his shirt off, and I thought, good God, that kid's chiseled.
I think all those kids are. They know today with all the science they have and how to I guess better grow and maintain the human body. All these young men are in top shape.
Oh yeah, they got people, I guess, there that they're paid to tell them how to eat and what to eat.
When to eat.
And when to eat everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, and that's, again, they're all going to end up being in good shape like that. Plus, he's 19. When I was 19, I was in a lot better shape than I am now.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Everything didn't hurt.
Yeah, really. Well, I think that when I turned 50, that was the birthday card I got. Said, you've reached that age now. If it don't hurt, it don't work.
That's about right.
And it gets worse.
Knees, elbows, shoulders.
The above.
All of the above. Yes, sir. I got it.
But I was going to tell you, too, I heard something yesterday. I don't know if there's any truth to it. I know it's only Wednesday, but I heard that both our quarterbacks there, Clinton, that the Benjamin kid is definitely out, and the transfer we got in, that he's banged up and very questionable about whether or not he's going to be able to play against Powell.
No, we can't afford that.
And
Powell's already, a 3-4 touchdown favorite?
Oh, yeah, at least.
So,
but yeah, that's going to hurt us, because the only thing we'd probably be able to do is just line up and run out of the Wildcats. I don't know if they have another freshman or this younger quarterback over there that you'd want to put in there because Powell's pretty big up front too. You don't want to put some young kid in there and get him killed.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
hopefully they'll mend. Did you catch Sports Show last night?
I missed it. I forgot all about it. There, I was outside on the phone, and when I got off the phone, I thought, good God, it's 7 o'clock. I've already missed Jasper's show.
Robbie was up here and his boy, and it was a good show. Go back and watch it. It's on BBB.
Oh, okay then. We'll do then. But all right, Ron, you enjoy the rest of your day there. I'm sure dreading that burn cold weather.
Let's just hush. It'll move on.
Well, it's been in the low 40s there this week in the morning.
Buddy, I know. I come to work in it. It's still dark and cold when I get here.
God. Well, I thought I heard you say one morning it was like 38 or 39.
It was 38 degrees on the river when I got up Monday.
Well, I'm assuming then you probably had some heat turned on, didn't you?
At the house, yes. It was funny because Tracy was like, I said, just leave everything and the house will warm up. She said, I know it will. I turned the heat on. I was like, okay. Okay.
It's going to warm up. I got the heat on.
I turned the heat on. I was like, okay. She did that night, but it hadn't been on since. If it warms up, into the high 60s or 70s, the house will stay around 70, 72, which is plenty for me. That's good for me. It starts the other day. It got down. I don't know. That morning, it probably got down to 67, maybe, or 65 in the house. It was chilly.
Oh, okay then. Well, how's JD's kicking grass? Are they still going, or is it slowing down?
Well, he said he went to his mom's yesterday. He had to go mow. That's why he's still got customers that he goes and mows. So he's doing good. Did you hear him on the call Friday night with Walt and Jim?
I think I was watching it on Dragon's Vision.
He did great. He did good.
I've listened to him before. There, he's getting where he's pretty well knowledgeable on what he sees going on out there.
He's pretty funny. Walt said something about a call, and he was like, "Yeah, that call's as scary as Halloween. That's a bad call." He started to come up. I heard him say that, and I started dying laughing. Tracy was like, "He is your son, that's for sure."
How did she mean that there? About just his mouth?
Oh yeah, he never has a lack for words. He's always got something to add.
Now your other boy, he's a little more reserved, isn't he?
Jacob is a little more quiet. Jacob's a little more hands-on. He likes to work on stuff, and I mean he's quiet to a certain degree. When he gets into something he likes and something that he likes to talk about, he's very talkative. James David, you can talk to him about anything from the weather to nuclear physics, and he'll have something to say about it. Jacob will talk about stuff that he likes, but yeah, he's a little more reserved, a little more quiet. He and his friends like to work on things, or at my house, tear them up. Is what happens.
So you don't expect him to be a radio person then?
He could, he might blossom into it, but no. As it is right now, that'll fall solely to the hands of James David at this moment, if that's what he wants to do.
Jacob, he may end up there learning auto mechanics or something. He can work on all your cars.
Well, that's what his job is. His job is to not his job, but his goal is to open them. He wants to be a mechanic. So he's already going through auto mechanics at school and doing all that, and then that's what he wants to do. He wants to open his own shop. I said,
do they have that at the high school?
Yep. They take him. He goes from Clinton up to Anderson County.
Oh, okay then.
Every day.
So will they do run a bus from Clinton up to AC?
They do, and then back.
Oh, yes. Well, good then.
Yeah, so he did that last year, and he's doing it this year. So, no, this year I'm doing semesters. He did last semester. He's doing this semester. This is sophomore year.
Then.
So, yep.
Well, what about high school basketball? Is that cranking up here before long?
We've been having open gym practices for a while now. James David had practice Monday. I think they're doing Mondays and Wednesdays, maybe. I can't remember. Well, yeah, they have open gyms. We can't have organized practices yet. Obviously.
Okay. There's a window.
Yeah, there's a window.
They can do that.
But they still have open practices where the guys get together and they'll scrimmage themselves and they'll play and James David's been going to practice two times a week for the entire time. And then over the summer there was a brief time that they had off, but Chris sent home instructions for their workouts, and they all supposed to have worked out at home during the summer. James David did. So they're staying on it. They've been working all year. There isn't really an off season. There's a little bit of off time, but I guess in every sport these days it's year round, at least conditioning.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure Chris is down there keeping an eye on them anyway. You can't actually coach them, but that's where his office is at anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he keeps an eye on them. And James David has basketball. I think his fourth period, that's what he has, is basketball. So they go in and they do stuff basketball-esque fourth period, even when they can't practice. So they're still working on stuff.
So he has to make arrangements for somebody to come and get him there them 2 days a week.
Well, yes and no. James David has got his hardship license. James David got his driver's license.
But you told me that, but I didn't know that he was actually driving, though, yet.
Yep. He's allowed to drive to and from school. It's very restricted. The times and automobiles, and, I mean, it's very restricted. But he can drive to and from school and back. Pretty cool.
I think when I talked to you about that the last time, he wanted to save a little bit more money before he bought it so he could get him a nicer vehicle. He's still saving. In half.
Yep, he's still working on it. So
he's driving one of yours now.
He's driving one of his mama's most of the time. But yeah, I let him use my truck.
Okay then. So evidently he's doing good with that then.
He's one of these guys that gets out and hustles and gets it. You know what I mean? He wanted his driver's license, so he got it, a hardship license, so he could get to school and get to work, get to practice. Yeah, because all of our lives are busy. You know what I mean? And as much as he goes, and he goes a lot, and you combine that by 4, really, when you take Tracy's daughter, Demi, and then Trey, and then Jacob and James David. Trey and Demi are pretty much self-sufficient. They're older. They both have cars. They both drive. You know, but you get down to the younger ones, and they're needing rides here, there, and everywhere. So it's very helpful when he can drive himself. And he drives his brother to school, too. So.
Oh, okay. Is he allowed to do that?
Yep. He's only immediate family, but you can have immediate family in the car, yes.
Oh, okay, then. Well, last question, Ron. Is your red light up yet?
Nope, not up yet, but the bases are. They've got all the concrete poured on both sides, and I see they've got the electrical ran and capped off till they can bring the actual structure. I don't know when the structure is going to be there, but that seems to be all they're waiting for is the actual lights to wire up and bolt down. They've got all the infrastructure in.
Oh, okay, then. Well, there's still a chance it'll get in before October, then.
I don't know if it'll make it. Well, it might. It literally looks like they just need to bring them, set them down, boom. You know what I mean? And set them down on the concrete pads they've poured and bolt them down. They're good to go. But there might be more to it.
Well, hopefully it'll happen before too long then. Before all the holiday hustle and bustle starts up.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Well, good deal, then. All right, buddy. Good talking with you, Ron. We'll holler next time, brother.
All right, my friend. Good talking to you, Mike.
Okay. See you, buddy.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
There we are, and here we go. All right, guys. Have a great day today. Those of you that are tuned in, dialed up, thank you so much for hanging with us today. On Trading Time and Ask Your Neighbor, I want to thank Mike Ferguson for coming in. Encourage you to get his book right now. It's in barnesandnoble.com. It's called Our Founders' Fears. And I've had a couple of folks that have read it. That's how I came about, Mike, was friends said, hey, this is a great book. You should ask this guy to come up. And I did. He brought me a book up for me to read this week, and I think brought it up Thursday. I can't remember, Thursday or Friday, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet. There you go. It's out there. I want to help local folks with what they're doing. And so we hope we can help him sell some books. Have a great day. If there's something you got going on, your church group, civic organization, anybody you'd like to come on, ask your neighbor, I would love to have you. I mean, I enjoy when we're able to use what we have here for something more than just making people giggle. When we can help somebody, help a church or help a sports organization or civic group or whatever the case might be, even one of our local individual listeners, if we can help you, we really enjoy doing that when we can. Just let me know. All right. Make sure you tune in tonight. Girls will be here with Trading Time, Prime Time. Your password, once again, will be Lanham Jewelry and Coin. Okay? Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12, or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask